Yeah, I'm gonna just record now so I don't you know what I mean, if you don't mind.
No, we gotta do it.
Okay, cool. So basically, it's not gonna be too much longer of a interview. I'm gonna ask you, you know,
Sure.
about
Definitely.
started this stuff. That's
Can
all.
you hear me good? Do I need to turn this fan off? I got a fan going.
No, I can't even hear you, fan.
All right,
You can hear me good.
definitely.
Okay, okay, here we go. Somebody else is in here. Did I get him? Where he at? Okay, here we go. All right.
That's Tom.
Okay.
Hey, buddy.
What's up, Tom? Can you hear us? Oh, okay. He said he gonna step off. Okay. I'm gonna check with him real quick to see if anybody else coming. If not, we gonna get started.
I don't think so because I told them at 7 o'clock.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. Well, let's just get started then. I'm gonna do my introduction and then I'll let you introduce yourself and we'll just go from there. Ask you a few questions.
Let's do it.
All right. What's good, y'all? It's your girl Tosh P, aka Peasy the Goat. You're now tuned in to Indie Culture the podcast. I am here with the director of the Botched Movie, Mr. Al Nuke. How you doing? You chilling. You chill. I like your vibe. You chilling. I love it. Oh,
Hey,
you got
well,
cards made
cheap
up.
plug. Yeah, it's a cheap plug right
Yes,
there.
yes. I
Yeah,
love that.
what's up with you?
How so thank you so much for meeting with me today.
Thank
I see the movie. I love it. We're gonna be
you.
talking about it today.
Thank you. Thank you. I
Um,
appreciate that.
no problem. So like I guess my first question would be like what made you want to do botch? Because it it's it's not a I don't want to say it's a touchy subject, but it's something, people would like to,
Yeah, I
go
think that
behind.
was the reason. That was one of the reasons why I wanted to do Botch. I wanted to touch on something different for the audience. I felt like a lot of the movies that was on Tubi was just the same, rigmarole, kind of the same, step and repeat situation. And
Mhm.
I felt like I wanted to do something, that's really touching and impactful to the community. That was one of my main things is the films that I do and starting to develop now has to be conversations outside of the theater and outside, of course, outside of the screens. So for me, it was like, how do I approach this epidemic of ladies feeling like they're not sexy and they got to get plastic surgery or they got to get BBLs, they got to get snatched and things of that sort. So let me just figure out a creative way that I can make a movie and just make people think, not really telling people they can't do it, but just kind of think about what you're doing because these are true stories.
Yeah, definitely, and research because
Yeah.
it's a lot that goes into that, and like just listening, just watching the movie and seeing stuff that I hadn't even known, and it's just
Yeah,
like you had done your research to figure out you probably learned some stuff that was new to it, and
definitely.
yeah. Do you know anybody that personally went through that experience?
Doing the research, I found a few. Um, when I first approached this movie to make it really authentic, I had
Mm-hmm.
to go in and I had to really research the stories about these women that was affected by people like this. Because to be clear, these backdoor booty shots started from trains and transvestites,
Uh-huh.
and men that wanted to be women, and they would take these shots to get enhancements and it gradually went into other women starting to do it and then going into the stripper arenas and doing it for the strippers and stuff. So I had to get really deep into that whole world to find that stuff. So I met girls that was hurt from it, affected by it. I met girls that was doing it. I met girls that was kind of the middleman of it, playing the ruts. All of those, and it was a real touching experience for me.
So what was it like? Like, what was the readings like? Like, what was like the whole sit down with like the actors and stuff? Like, how was that? Like the table readings?
And that's a great question. We didn't have a lot of them. We had an online, I believe we had a one or two maybe reads
Yeah.
on, on the on Zoom. The main
Mhm.
thing for me was rehearsing, was
Mhm.
trying to find that chemistry with Russ and Layla. That was
Mhm.
my main thing. I felt like once everybody else had kind of fall in line, and I can kind of, I can kind of weave my way through making sure that they can give me their best performances. But when finding that chemistry with Layla and Russ, it was a lot of rehearsals and stuff like that went into those two, as well as with the young lady Crystal that played Crystal. It was a little rehearsal with her. Scarlett, a lot of rehearsal with. Those particular four was the
Mhm.
ones that I really studied on to make sure that they can come across. Everybody else was kind of like, we're gonna figure this out. And then everybody was kind of really professional on set as well. They knew their lines. They did really well.
Yeah. I was kind of looking around doing some searching and I seen Kelly Kells. She's
Mm-hmm.
kind of goofy, so it's like she
Yeah,
said this was kind of like her first like serious role. And
yeah,
I was,
definitely.
you know what I mean? I loved her like, her how she portrayed the role. Like she really did a good
Like
job.
her. Good, good, good. It took a lot to develop her into Layla because
Mhm.
she's a comedian. She's a very bright, uh, comedic, beautiful young lady. You know what I mean? And she has to come in the room and lighten the room. You know what I mean? So it was really important for me to kind of tear that down. I had to tear all of that out of her. Like, listen,
Yeah.
we don't like you on this set. You're not Kelly Kales on here. You're Layla. You're destroying women's lives. You have a lot that you went through, a lot of trauma in your life, and it has to convey on camera. So I need you to, give me another side. And at first few days, she was looking at me like, yo, who the fuck do you think you talking to? I don't know if I cuss, but she was like, yo, who the... And then, after we went on and she seen the layers that Layla had to come out of and develop, because again, Layla, I always tell people it was really important for the audience to really like Layla in the beginning and then have questions if they hate her or like her at the end.
Right.
She had to be green. She had to be a green person, very vulnerable, very, very delicate at the beginning. She had to get hurt. She had to become hard. She had to become a killer. She had to become literally tired
Right.
at the end. It was multitude of layers. So I couldn't have a person coming on set like, hey, yeah, let's have fun. It's like, no, you got to really go in.
Yeah.
Kelly Kills killed it. She did.
Yeah. Really did. I commend her for that. That like I said, that's a great movie. I watched it myself. I think I watched it twice.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely I love it. Um, so you said, oh, Russ.
Yeah, Russ.
Yeah, he played his role really well too. And
Mhm.
I like opposite of him. Was it like hard getting him to kind of portray that role too?
Yeah, yeah, honestly, because Russ, the real Shalik, is a real calm, conservative dude. You
Uh-huh.
know, he passive. You know what I mean? He's not aggressive,
Uh-huh.
so to speak. Good dude.
Yeah.
That's the person that I wrote was an aggressive, skymey, con man, type thing and type feel. And Russ at the beginning, he was just on some like, yo, like this is kind of different for me. I ain't never had to hit a girl, pimp a girl, hurt a girl, that type of thing. So to get that edge out of him, I had to work with him. But of course, he is a professional actor. You know what I mean? So it was just like once he understood where I was trying to go with Russ,
Yeah.
he killed it.
Yeah, because Russ
On an
was a piece.
island.
Russ was a piece of work. You hear
Yeah,
me?
he was a piece of work. He was. Who was your favorite character in the film?
um, I don't know. I say Layla, like
Okay.
because of the played that role. Like she made me believe that. Like she
How
was.
did you feel about her at the end? How did you? What was your feeling about her?
I feel like after a while she kind of felt remorseful, but
Mm-hmm.
it's like kind of like too late, you know. So
Yeah,
you know what
yeah,
I mean. Really, I want to tell it because I don't know who's gonna watch it, but
yeah.
I don't. The way she set her girlfriend set her up, it was
Yeah,
crazy.
it
I was just
was.
like, I wasn't expecting that. Like
Yeah.
I was going about their mosey way.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yeah, yeah. I tried to keep the people, women on the edge of their seats. It was hard
Yeah,
writing this particular movie because it's a girls' movie.
yeah,
You know what I mean? And I'm really thankful for the women that I got in my life that you know, helped me keep it authentic to a woman's essence. Without,
right.
because to be truthful, I wanted a all woman, production crew. You know what I mean? To really do it. At first, it was going to be a woman writer. It was all women based, but of course, dealing with women is kind
Yeah,
of all over the place. So I couldn't get that, but I did get authentic as possible to the story. You know?
yeah, you definitely did. And shout out to all the actors that was a part of this movie, and Johnny Blaze did her thing too.
Johnny
Like,
killed. Johnny
yeah,
killed it.
she did. Like, I was just like, well, damn.
Johnny's crazy because that's like my sister. Like she is so talented,
Yes.
such a sweetheart. But I think she's a Gemini too. So she got
Oh.
that other. I don't know if she's a Gemini or not, but I know she got them. She got them traits where she can be loving you and
Uh-huh.
stab you with the biggest butcher knife if you piss her off. You know,
Yeah.
that type of vibe. So, but even dealing with Johnny was very delicate, and she gave me a different patience with
Uh-huh.
dealing with creators because Johnny's a very creative person.
Yes.
And in my past of directing and making movies, I would just be push, push, push. I'm gonna push you. I'm gonna push you. If I break you, you're broke. Get out of here.
Yeah.
Next, Johnny is more so very delicate,
Uh-huh.
and she's a boss. You can't
Yeah.
tell Johnny what the fuck to do or what you feel, or how you gonna say it. She
Yeah.
humbled me. Um, of course, she made me pay her, you know, and she humbled me, and
Yeah.
and she loved me, and she bought me and everybody else lunch one of these days. Like she's just a beautiful person. She just
Yeah. I believe it. I believe it. And she can sing her ass off.
sing, dance, play the piano, act,
Yeah.
unicorn.
Yeah. I'm hoping to meet her one day because she's definitely I heard she's a sweetheart, but don't get on her bad side. That's all.
I think like the first day, quick story about Johnny Blaze is when I first met her, right, she was hanging out with me and Zay, because I met at Zaytoven. She was hanging out with us on the West Coast.
Uh-huh.
Um, she was in Texas at a random spot. She was with us like the whole weekend. And this
Uh-huh.
was the first time her being with the crew. And at this time, I believe her and Cash Doll had something going on. You know what I
Uh,
mean? And of course, I'm from Detroit.
yeah.
So I'm in the van and I'm talking about like, yeah, we mentioned Cash Doll. She's like, yo, how dare you? Don't mention that bitch name or whatever. But she said something. And I was like, yo, hold on, that's family. You can't do that. And so me and her, we at it, like right there in the van. Here I am sticking up for Cash Doll. Cash Doll nowhere around. Johnny was so serious. Johnny being Johnny.
Yeah.
And it was funny because at the end of that, I believe her and Cash Doll got cool, and me and Johnny laughed about it later. But it was crazy in that van for about 15 minutes. Like Johnny could have beat the shit out of me in the van, like mentioning Cash Doll.
That's why. So the so Zaytoven was the executive producer, right?
A botch.
Yeah.
He's one of the associate producers. One of the associate producers, kind of like help put some things together with the movie. I executive produced the movie myself, along
Okay.
along with a doctor of mine, Dr. Aaron Fletcher.
Okay.
He also helped associate produce the project.
Okay, cool. What was it like working with them? Because I know you said that you managed Zaytoven, so.
Man, working with Zay is like working with baby Jesus. You always gonna get some knowledge. You always gonna get some game. You always gonna get some inspiration. I never met a brother so genuine. I don't think in my life. You know what I mean? But not to say he's perfect. I ain't saying he's perfect. You know, but he is perfect in who he is. You know what I mean? Zay is perfect for what Zay is. Genuine dude, good dude. You know what I mean? So we always work together. We work together. We've been working together every day for about 14, 15 years. 14, 15 years. We've been working every daily. So that's my brother.
I love that. Shout out to Tubi too, because people be sleeping on Tubi, but Tubi have some of the most creative directors, movies
Yeah.
out. Be sleeping on Tubi.
Yeah, shout out Tubi. Shout out. They changed the algorithm a little bit. It's getting more corporate. You know, if you go on there now, since they changed the logo, a lot of the algorithms is supporting Fox movies because you know, of course, Fox owns Tubi, so they have a lot of they have a huge catalog of movies that they invested in. So of course, they're going to put all of those first, and it's a
Right.
little harder to find Black movies, and I believe it's a little harder to get your movie on Tubi now. Especially if it's like a YouTube movie. You know what I mean? And that's good because it was getting a little watered down, I felt like, for real filmmakers like myself, who's been in the business for a while, that's got some edge in the game. I felt like guys that just started making movies 2 weeks ago should not be able to utilize this platform and feel like they can get some money because, truth be told, this is the first platform where independent film directors that's really making some movies can get their movies out and actually see some revenue. We weren't able to do that, you know.
Yeah.
Past.
No, for real though. No, I love that. I watch Tubi like every day, no, honestly. I see different like new movies on there all the time. So yeah.
You got to check
What's
out Detroit Dreams.
You said which one?
Detroit Dreams.
I'm on it tonight. Say
I got
less.
a few of them on there. Yeah, talk to Tone about it. Finesse, got a Finesse on there. Two Finesse, Two Finesse. Birds of a Feather, of course, with me and Zaytoven.
Yeah.
Part 1 and 2 is on there. So yeah, I got a few movies on there for sure.
Okay, cool. So watch, like, what's next?
One of the hardest films that I ever had to do, and it is called Roper. It is about a psychotic killer who's a detective. Yeah, and yeah.
Oh shit. No, I like watching shit like that. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Yeah, it's heavy. It's heavy, and I play the role. I play a psychotic police officer who preys on women and kill women and do a lot of weird stuff. So it's like a Black Dahmer who's a police officer.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So it's one of the hardest roles I was ever to have to incorporate because, I don't know how to think like that. So I got to do a lot of research and just character research about, psychotic thoughts and minds and stuff. And it'd be days I got to pray because I'd be into watching a lot of that madness and it'd be like, man, these people is crazy. So I'd be out to pray and stuff. But I feel good about it because this is something new for me. And I'm excited to embrace this next chapter.
Nah, I love that for you. And it seems like you're like really dedicated. I'm glad that I could, sit down and talk to you because you like actually research, what you're trying to do. And
Yeah.
it's like it seems like you like to learn about, the next role and like what you want to do and like how you put it you try to go outside your box, basically.
I
A lot of
agree.
people a box. You're across the street from the box.
You got to put in a lot of work. I feel like, just a message to anybody that's watching this, it's like you got to be willing to put the work in. A lot of people, so many people have dreams and all they see is the end result. Like soon as I get on, soon as I do this or soon as I do this, I can't wait to do that. But the journey is where you actually get the fun, you get the discipline, you get the excitement, you get the money, you get all of that during the journey. Because once you get it, it just be like, damn, it's something else I gotta get.
Yeah.
It's not as fun to me as it was. You know what I mean? And a lot of people don't know that until you start working that journey and embrace that journey. A lot of people fall off having these
Uh-huh.
big dreams. And as soon as that dream don't happen tomorrow, today, or they get discouraged, they get a door slam, forget that, I'm on to the next one. And it's
Yeah.
like, you can't, if you're really passionate about it, be willing to put the work in every single day until it happens. There's no option B.
No, for real. I love
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Anybody you want to work with that you haven't worked with yet?
Man, I want to work with everybody. I ain't gonna
Uh-huh.
lie. I feel like, I'm just getting started. I'm just getting in my second win. I've been a hustler for a long time, trying to, hustle my way into the business, whether it be the streets, the business, the music, management, whatever. I'm to a point in my life where I ain't scratching to survive no more. I'm more so comfortable with who I am in the space that I am. And I feel like it's another level God is taking me on to now finally play with the big boys. So when you say to work with, I would love to work with of course, Ice Cube. I feel like I could work with him, and I can feel comfortable working with him. Um, Denzel is one of my dreams, of course, and I will prepare like crazy to do that.
Uh-huh.
Um, yeah, man, yeah. But other than that, I just want to work with everybody. A lot of people don't. A lot of people don't. I don't know. A lot of people, even on in my craft where I'm in right now, a lot of people don't call me to do a lot of work. I think they may think I'm too busy, or you
Uh-huh.
know, might be inferior. Some people might be. I don't know. Maybe
Uh-huh.
might think I'm whack. I don't know. But I create my own motion, so I'm gonna continue to do that as well.
Yeah, keep doing that. Keep going up. I appreciate you once
Definitely.
again stopping by and then dropping them jewels and then just letting us know, like, how you got
Thank you,
started,
Tasha.
everything.
Yeah, I really appreciate you. Thank you for having me, man. Y'all make sure y'all go check out Botch. I'm sorry it's so little, but hopefully that can you see that
Yeah,
Botch QR
yeah,
code right there on Tubi? Make sure you
yeah.
check that out, man. Yeah, for sure. Thank you, Tasha.
And thank you for stopping by once again, and you have a great one. You
I will. I appreciate you. Love.
too.
All right.